Keysi, K-E-Y-S-I, Keysi, or Keysi Fighting Methods, KFM. Not the same as FMK, but if you take the K at the end of FMK and move it to the front, then it's KFM, Keysi Fighting Method. Then you have an actual legitimate new martial art. And I heard about this Keysi last April when my childhood Kung Fu Sifu, Bill Holmstrom, was writing about it on Facebook posts. I keep contact with Bill through Facebook still, and he was saying he's interested in learning this new martial art. He's getting excited. He wants to get into this new martial art. And so, you know, I private messaged him. I asked him what martial art it was, and he said it was this Keysi. And then he said he was having a hard time finding resources for it. He wasn't sure he was going to be able to do it because the two founders of the system had split apart in some way, some manner, and now the resources that they were kind of marketing, the distance learning kind of programs, home learning, wasn't available anymore. And these guys are in the UK, and so, you know, aren't right on hand to learn from or anything like that. And what's on the YouTube is pretty minimal. I mean, they've got a number of videos, KFM videos on there, but the actual, you know, display of the system on the videos is, you know, it's kind of small, and it's not like, well, it's not like you couldn't take from that and adapt and start building on it yourself, but you just wish you had more. Anyway, my friend, my old childhood Sifu, I guess because he couldn't get the right resources that he wanted and stuff, felt like he'd hit the wall, and then he didn't pursue it anymore. I've been kind of thinking about it off and on since he mentioned it. You know, when he did mention it in April, and I kind of, you know, when I went and looked at what Keysi was, I thought it was interesting. I've been kind of thinking about it since. And then this weekend, for some reason, possibly related to that, I was just about to break my hand. I started watching the Keysi videos, and I kind of started getting excited about it. And I wrote back to my friend Bill again, and I asked him if he ever got anywhere with it, and he said no, because the guys had split apart. But what I noticed was they got some recent seminars where it looks like the two founders, one of them is running, you know, well, they're both running seminars. They have a kind of a different flavor to their seminars. One of them was running some like really MMA oriented seminar, and the other one was running you know, a different kind of seminar that wasn't MMA oriented. And so they're still doing stuff. And then I checked, and they do have a website, a KFM website, which I think is being run like by the main school, which involves the real original founder. I guess there's one guy that's been doing, kind of building up to this since he was a child, and then the other guy kind of glommed on with him at one point, and then they had to split and had to think about what to do marketing wise and all of this stuff for their system. And now it seems that they've figured it out. But looking at you know, available resources to learn from, or on the website, what it does is it you know, tells you to go to certified instructors. And unfortunately for me, there's only one certified instructor in Canada, and he's in Montreal. So I'm going to get a hold of the main school and find out if there's any other way to do this other than working directly with a certified instructor. Whether there is or not, I'm going to already start experimenting with it, which I have, just playing with the ideas itself, the principles and stuff. One of the really, you know, there's a couple of things that really interest me about this Keysi. What I come to recognize over the weekend as I was watching videos was that it fits very well into the wider framework of my artistic vision, in the sense that I'm really pursuing developing my human capacities, the things that are like core human things, like the running, of course, the swimming, the martial arts that includes the grappling, the striking, eating the natural foods that are in abundance on the landscape, learning how to just live as a human being, not as a not although I'm totally within the modernity. If I don't know how to do it, how to be human without this, then it's no good. I mean, this is why I barefoot run, and this is why I do martial arts, and this is why it's all connected to me into one large vision, including my studies of indigenous knowledge. And so what's cool, how Keysi fits into that, not only because it's just a martial art to begin with, and all of the martial arts kind of fit into that schema, it uses a very unique kind of positioning or posture. So it relies a lot on this guard, which is a very natural defense position that humans will take if they get attacked. If you're getting pummeled right away, you go up here to protect the head. But what we haven't seen, and what I'm seeing in Keysi, is these guys have figured out ways to use this as not only kind of a passive defense, but as an attack position. And so here you have an art that it kind of reminded me a little bit of like the Gracie strategy, either be in terms of measuring distance and such, being all the way out or being all the way in. And when somebody that's mastered this Keysi art gets all the way in, they're in like this, and they're right up again. They're inside of the grappling range. They're not just at the regular striking range, but they're launching attacks from here with a lot of elbows, with headbutts, and with fists. And I just found it very interesting that this is such a normal human defense posture. Why hasn't another system come up as yet? You see it a little bit in Muay Thai, but not to the extent that the Keysi guys have taken it to another level. I wish I could remember their name, but I'm just getting to know their stuff. And yeah, I'm pretty impressed with it. And I think it would be really beneficial to have, because it's almost like the I think probably as applicable as the jiu-jitsu, but where in the jiu-jitsu you end up right on the ground. With the Keysi, you don't necessarily go to the ground. You can use the Keysi on the ground, and one of the guys that's doing the MMA kind of oriented seminars, I found the couple of videos that are on the web about they're showing aspects of those seminars. I found that stuff to be like frighteningly useful. I think if anybody masters that stuff and brings it into the cage, there's going to be, it's going to change MMA once again, because they're just pummeling their opponents, and they're very well defended all the while. So, but it is, for the most part, it's a stand-up. It's not limited to stand-up, but it's stand-up striking art at a very, very, very close range. Yeah, and I'm impressed with it for that. I'm impressed with it using the natural postures that are a good defense posture for humans. And I'm going to explore it a little bit, by hook or crook. I'm going to explore this this Keysi stuff, and find its benefits and its weaknesses and this kind of thing, and add what's beneficial to what I'm doing. So I thought I would just shoot out a video here sharing those thoughts, because it may be that someone watching my channel or whatever is much more familiar with Keysi than I am, might be able to give me their opinions and these kind of things about it, and what they see as benefits and weaknesses of it. And yeah, so anyway, you probably see me over the next little while developing more Keysi inspired type drills on my different training stations and these kind of things. And once my hand heals, working with Shane with some of it, I've kind of screwed us in our partner training because of this hand. Hopefully it's just a very short temporary injury, but it could definitely be a six week process, so we'll see. Anyway, yeah, so if anybody's got thoughts on Keysi you want to share, let me know.